To close us out, we have the special treat of the new Undersecretary of the Government Operations Agency, Sarah Soto-Taylor.
Well, thanks, everyone. I'm so glad that you're still here, and thank you. I mean, it's been an exciting day. I know I've learned a lot. I had to step out a couple of times, but when I was here, I was very much impressed with everyone that's here talking about how we're going to introduce and continue to evolve our workforce and our technology into the future. So again, thank you so much for being here. We've heard so much today. And I especially want to thank my colleagues at the Department of Technology, Director Leanna Bailey-Crimmins, who's here, all of our colleagues at the Department of Technology for really working tirelessly on Envision 2026. It's really going to lay that foundation, the groundwork for all of our state departments moving forward over the next 2 years, leveraging technology and innovation to fuel that significant, impactful change that we all need, the collaboration among our state departments, and also putting people first, right? We heard about that throughout the day, is how are we going to be using human-centered design to move forward in our work? And it really embodies us as state workers and the true essence of public service. So I want to thank you for putting that into the Envision 2026. Also, talking about the divide, right? And talking about how are we going to start to bridge that divide, enhancing the workforce and upskilling our employees. We heard that continuously, and I'll talk a little bit more about that and what we're doing at the agency to take that on. We also heard from other notable speakers. I want to do a quick shout out to Director Marino and the Office of Data Innovation, who shared importance about adopting a product mindset. Not a lot of us have heard about that or have heard about it, but don't quite exactly know what that is. We're going to continue to message that throughout the next 2 years of this administration. And really, what sparked all of that, and it's really been amplifying, is the work that we're doing in Gen AI. And I'll talk a little bit more about how we're going to continue to embrace this new tool, this new technology as we move forward. I also want to thank, though, and I think, not sure she's still here, but Director Marianne Bates. Cradle to career. Did you hear how many bosses she has and how much she needs to report out to all of her different board members and all of the different stakeholders? It's a testament to how we can embrace governance, put together a structure that really embodies collaboration across entities. Jason Lally from Office of Data Innovation, he spoke about how we can be more collaborative, his perspective on how we use data moving forward. It's going to be instrumental. That really is the foundation for all of our state departments to be able to use Gen AI and any other transformational efforts moving forward. So I'm going to touch on a couple of key things that we're doing at the agency to really support all of our state departments and enhancing the way we are delivering services to Californians. We want to make sure that we look at Gen AI and all those other tools that are out there for us, but we also want to make sure that we continue that collaboration. And one area that we are really starting to embrace and look forward to establishing more connections is with academia. How many of us, have read the reports, have read all of the studies that are out there, but how many of us have really taken the time to speak with those authors, to go out and talk to our partners in academia? That is something that we really want to make sure that moving forward, we're doing more of that. They are great collaborators, and we really look forward to sharing with you all how we're building those relationships and some of those insights that we're finding from academia. I talked about Gen AI. I know that's the topic of conversation. It's certainly one of our major priorities within the agency. The governor issued this executive order last year. We've issued guidelines, we have risk assessment tools, we're doing proof of concepts. One of the things that we learned is that we can't do things the way we've been doing it traditionally in terms of procurement. So you may have seen or been part of our GenAI Innovator Showcase that took place a couple of weeks ago. We want to do more of that. In case you weren't there, what we did, GovOps along with CDT, ODI, and many of our other state partners, we hosted an event with one goal in mind, and that was to see how can we bring and provide the highest quality services to the projects, the problems that we have within state government. We had an opportunity to have very high-level problem statements put forward to our industry, to our innovator community, and it yielded a lot of great market research. And really what we're going to be doing is digging into what we learned, and you'll see in the near future opportunities to be able to partner with the state in some of those ideas that we had and solutions that may be coming forward as a result of this new way of interacting with our industry partners in these showcases. So that's a little bit about what we're visioning, but I do want to go in a little bit further on what is to come. Imagine an opportunity to engage with our residents on a regular basis using a new platform where they will be able to provide us with feedback on the services that they're delivering on, that we're delivering on, and that they're receiving in the communities. Imagine that. That's one of the new ideas and one of the prospective initiatives that we have here at the agency moving forward. Certainly our approach to how we're implementing GenAI, we want to make sure that as we are learning from our proof of concepts, from all the work that's happening in the departments, how will we continue to shape the future of ethical, transparent, and trustworthy AI? Believe it or not, other states are looking to California for that leadership. So we will continue to be in the forefront of that as we continue to learn more and start to implement more of these GenAI solutions. Of course, there's a lot of other technology besides GenAI that we'll be looking at and considering as we continue to move forward in partnership to make sure that we are, again, delivering services for Californians in the best possible way. We are also understanding that this is brand new. We talked a little bit about governance earlier on. How can we continue to establish those guardrails for GenAI implementation and creating, again, that public space to be responsible and testing AI? This is something that we're very much appreciative of our industry partners, the innovators, and helping us test these solutions in that iterative manner. But we also need to recognize that with GenAI, and many of you are probably reading about this, we need to be searching for those alternatives of energy so that we can meet our clean energy goals. So you'll start to see, at least at the agency level, opening up those conversations with the industry on how we can support those energy needs of the future. Looking more internally, as we start to think about how we are going to be moving forward with procurement of many of these tools, we recognize that our project approval lifecycle, our PAL process, may need a little bit of refresh. So we will start to see some of those areas of improvement and efficiencies around PAL. We talked a little bit about earlier about how we are using the request for innovative ideas, or RFI squared, as another vehicle for procurement, another iterative way of making sure that we have opportunities to work with all of our innovators before we start to go into long-term contracts. So you'll see a lot more of the use of RFI squared by our departments as we move forward. Upskilling our state workforce. So we acknowledge that GenAI is new to many of us. in state departments. We may be using the technology at home for our personal use, but we certainly want to make sure that as our workforce starts to use this in their day-to-day work, that we are upskilling, that we have the appropriate levels of training for our workforce. We want to make sure that they're first-of-class employees. So we are making sure that we provide all of those tools and educational experiences for our workforce. We believe that if our state employees understand the use of Gen AI and the opportunities to use Gen AI, it'll be a benefit to our residents. They'll be able to have much more quicker delivery systems, program decisions may be quicker. So we're really investing in our workforce, knowing that they are that linkage to our residents. I talked a little bit about how we are trying to look at how we can create those continuous loops with our residents in terms of feedback, and that will certainly be top of mind as we continue to embrace human-centered design in all of our program operations. I also want to mention, I talked a little bit about the public-private partnership with our academia and how that's going to be forefront, but I also want to talk about our industry partners. So we, through our Gen AI initiatives, have had the opportunity to work with some of our industry partners in creating memorandums of understanding in order to help support the workforce. So we are really looking to our industry partners to help not only educate our workforce on what is Gen AI and all these emerging technologies, but we need to go even further down. We need to go into our educational systems, both at the primary school level, the high school level, community college level. We truly believe that if we can create those partnerships with industry, not only will it help support all of our citizens and our residents that are coming up, but also help support our future employees for the state of California. I do want to say that at the agency, we are very much cognizant that we have 2 years. Our administration and our time here it has a deadline. So within the next 2 years, Governor Newsom has really tapped all of us in leadership positions to make sure that we're not slowing down. We're putting the pedal to the metal, and so we are sprinting all the way to 2026. And it's going to take a lot for us to be able to deliver on many of his priorities, but we're really going to be building upon our successes. So I want to just mention a few of our successes over the last year that really we're going to be amplifying and moving forward with on a continuous basis to really help improve broadband for all Californians. That is our commitment to closing the digital divide by advancing the state's $6 billion effort to build the largest open access broadband infrastructure network in the nation. So you'll see continuously that we're starting to build that out. We're creating that linkage for our communities to be able to access digital services. I mentioned RFI Squared with our Department of General Services, which we'll see much more in the future. Another example is our Office of Data Innovation that's partnering with HCD, one of our departments, to streamline housing and development across 539 jurisdictions. Our Cradle to Career system, as you heard earlier, is public first. They're building those data tools based on what Californians say they need. And also, we are wrapping up our first round of proof of concepts. So you'll start to see some of those lessons learned coming out. So the state cannot afford to wait. We're not going to be just sitting back over the next 2 years. We are going to continue to prioritize high-quality service delivery for all Californians. We thank all of you for being our partners in this effort. All of you are innovators in your own space. And we thank you again and look forward to partnering with you in the future. And again, thank you for being here today. Thank you, Adam.